Hey guys, this is tomatoanus and this is a speedrun of Fallout New Vegas any percent that I got on my stream earlier today. And I didn't do commentary when I did the run, just so I could go back and do heavy commentary over it later on. Now, as I just said, this is an any percent attempt, so if you're not a fan of glitching in speedruns, then you should go to speedrun.com/fallout_NV. And there is a glitchless leaderboard there that there are plenty of runs that you can watch there. This speedrun is done with the Caravan Pack DLC because it gives us a shotgun that we like to use, and this run is also done in Italian because Italian is 4 seconds faster than English, solely because of this intro dialogue with Doc. Typically what we'll do is we'll quick save and quick load to skip through a bunch of dialogues, but we're not able to quick save and quick load through this one because we don't have control over our player character yet, so we play in Italian because this speech in particular is 4 seconds faster in Italian than English. Now during this intro part, I'm just mashing enter to get through a couple parts where I have prompts like naming my character and also creating our character. We play as male, doesn't really matter which one, but it's faster just to stay with male. As soon as I stand up, you'll see the screen flash to a loading screen really quickly twice, and that's because I'm quick saving and quick loading twice to skip Doc's dialogues. You'll see me quick save and quick load a lot throughout the run to skip dialogues of NPCs, but we can only do it when they're talking at us and we don't really have our dialogue box up, so we can only skip dialogues with quick saving and quick loading then. So right after I stand up, I walk straight to the vigor tester, and there I'll enter in my special stats, and the special stats we use for the run are 1 in strength and 4 in perception, and that's so that we have the special points to bring both endurance and charisma up to 10. The reason why we want those at 10 is because with 10 endurance you reload faster, which is good for a glitch we use, and 10 charisma also gives us more speech points, which will help us pass a couple speech checks really early on in the run. Right here when we sit down and talk with Doc Mitchell, we're just going to mash 2 enter buttons to skip through the Rorschach test as quickly as possible and get to tagging our special skills and also picking our perks. For our skills, we tag guns so that we can kill people more easily because there are a couple people in the run that we need to shoot. And then for our perks, we pick good nature just because it gives us 5 extra charisma to help with those speech checks that I mentioned earlier. Right when we stand up, we're going to talk with Doc one more time, and then what we'll do is we'll walk into a corner and keep walking and quick save and quick load, and that'll clip us through the wall and it'll spawn us back at the front of his house. You'll see us quick save and quick load to clip a lot throughout the run. As soon as we exit his house, we're going to drop unnecessary items, equip our shotgun, and fast travel to Good Springs, and then we're going to stop hop our way over to the general store and talk to Chet. I'll explain stop hopping later on, I just don't really have the time to explain it at this second. So when we shop with Chet, we're going to buy some ammo for a 357 revolver. Unluckily, he didn't spawn with one, but it's more unlucky for Chet because we're going to have to kill him and take the one that spawns on his body, as well as any ammo that's on his body. Once we exit the general store, we immediately bind the 357 revolver as well as the shotgun, and we begin doing a glitch called reload dashing. Now, reload dashing is the fastest way to move across the map in Fallout New Vegas. The way you do reload dashing is by having a gun that has a 1 bullet at a time reload animation like the revolver. What you do is you hold W the entire time, so you keep walking forward. You have to be on the ground for this, you can't do it while you're in the air. And you press the button to swap your ammo twice, and right after that you press your button to pull up your inventory and also click on the mouse, because what this will do is it'll interrupt the reload animation, and if you unequip the gun and you keep holding W once you put away your Pip-Boy, the game will for some reason slingshot you forward. So this is what we do to pretty much move across the map. There are a couple downsides to this, like the game has a tendency to crash when you do this since it's really not intended. Another thing that happens a lot throughout the run because of reload dashing is because you're hitting objects at high speed, you often get sent super high up into the air. So we try to remediate that by quick saving and quick loading while we're flying up. You can use quick saving and quick loading to completely break your momentum, so it allows for you to stop flying way up in the air, and it also allows for you to break great falls that would normally kill you. As we travel across New Vegas, our first stop was the Hidden Valley, which we need later on to meet the Brotherhood of Steel. And then we make a beeline towards Black Mountain Radio because we need that later to power up a substation. From there, we just make a beeline straight to the monorail and we launch ourselves off of a rock. That'll send us up in the air, and then we can land on the monorail and take the monorail into New Vegas. Once we're off the monorail, all we have to do is walk through here, and then we can clip through this wall, and then we access the store and we're in New Vegas. Once we're actually in New Vegas proper, the first thing that we need to do is go and talk to the White Glove Society and the Ultralux. The reason why we go to the Ultralux right away is because we're doing the Yes Man ending, and part of the Yes Man ending is you meet all the smaller factions like the White Glove Society and the Omertas, and you tell Yes Man that you pretty much don't want them harmed, so we need to at least talk to everyone once except for the Great Khans and Brotherhood, which you'll see what we do later with them. But once we're inside the Ultralux, we're going to stop hop again to get back to Mortimer quickly and then talk to him real quick. And stop hopping is a glitch where you hold W and you jump, and right when you're about to land, you let go of W and flick your camera around and jump again, and you get a ton of momentum from doing this. So if you time it perfectly, you can change it together several jumps and move faster than normal. So that's what stop hopping is. It's similar to bunny hopping, but it's not bunny hopping. Right when we leave the Ultralux, what we're going to do is reload dash over to the tops, and that way we can kind of progress the main quest by meeting Benny and everything. The first thing we're going to do in here is talk to Swank and pass a couple speech checks to get Benny's sweet key. And then we're going to level up 3 times, and we're going to level up survival to 45 so we can take the travel light perk in a minute. And then what we're going to do from now on through the run is level speech every time as high as it can go so that we can pass speech checks at the end of the run. And other than that, level ups don't matter, we just dump them into anything, but for the time being, every level up goes into speech. Once I'm done leveling up, I'm going to walk over to Benny and demonstrate my NA aim, and then I'm going to loot his body to get the platinum chip off of him. Now that I have the platinum chip, I'm going to make my way to his suite by reload dashing to the elevator and then clipping through a wall. And once I'm in here, I'm going to talk to Yes Man just enough to progress the main quest, and then also in order to learn what tribes I need to talk to in order to finish his main quest. Once I'm done talking to Yes Man, I'm going to leave Benny's suite, and once I'm out of here, I'll reload dash a couple of the Tops goons, whatever they're called, and once I'm out of the elevator, I will clip through this wall and spawn right at the entrance to the top so I can leave. Once I'm outside, I'll equip my revolver again and reload dash to the other side of the New Vegas Strip, where I will enter the Lucky 38 by talking to Victor. Once I've talked to Victor, I can enter the Lucky 38 and talk to him again on the inside and take the elevator up to the penthouse. As soon as I spawn in the penthouse, I'm going to jump back into the left and then walk backwards and quick save quick load to clip through this wall. And then I'm going to be doing a glitch called third person interaction, which is where you enter third person and kind of maneuver the camera to a point where you can interact with items on the other side so that I can access this terminal that requires the platinum chip to access. And I'll take this to the control room, which is where Mr. House's body is. So I'll unseal his chamber and then pop him once with a shotgun, and now he's dead. So Yes Man can now take over the Lucky 38. I'll clip through this wall, stop hop a couple times, and clip through this wall in order to take the stairs up to the elevator and take this back down to the casino level, and allow for me to exit the Lucky 38. Now my speech is up to 100, so every time I level up, I'm just going to dump him into the first thing I see. Once I'm outside, I need to talk to this NCR trooper, otherwise the game will soft lock with some weird dialogue thing right here. But we're going to dash over to the Gamora and talk to the Omerta thug in the lobby and say, never mind, I'll be back. And that right there is enough to constitute meeting the Omertas, so later on we can tell Yes Man to spare them. But now we're going to begin our quest to go and meet all the factions, so what we have left is the Boomers, the Brotherhood, and the Great Khans. So for the Boomers, all we have to do is dash to leave West Side and the Strip, and once we're outside, we're just going to make a beeline towards Nellis Air Force Base. With reload dashes, you can actually curve the trajectory of some of them by flicking your mouse to the side, so if you watch the hand cam in the top right, you'll see my mouse hand sometimes flick really hard to the left or the right, and that's because I'm trying to curve my reload dashes. Unfortunately here, we did get caught by George. You want to try and stray to the left to not get caught by him, but sometimes he's able to just stop you in such a fashion that would cause irreversible whiplash, but unfortunately he did catch us, but that's no big deal. It's only a couple seconds lost. But once we get up to this gate, we're going to talk to the Boomer Guard real quick, and then Raquel, and they'll let us into Nellis Air Force Base so we can talk with Pearl. After we've talked with Pearl, that constitutes meeting the Boomers for Yes Man's questline, and then we can just fast travel to Hidden Valley, which we discovered near the start of the run, where we will meet the Brotherhood of Steel. Lucky for us, the Brotherhood of Steel doesn't take too much to get to know. All you really have to do is open this door, take out a gun, and once they open their door, you just shoot them once, and then you can just clip out of this wall and leave, and that's all you need to do to meet the Brotherhood of Steel enough to constitute whether or not they need to survive. After that, we'll just fast travel to Good Springs, and then what we'll do is we'll reload dash our way to the Red Rock Canyon to meet the Great Khans. One thing that you may have noticed throughout the run is that my timer pauses every time we're at a load screen. This is because we utilize what's called a load remover for PC runs, and this pretty much is a component inside of our timer that reads the game's states for markers that indicate the game's at a load screen. Every time the game is at a load screen, the timer automatically pauses. What this does is it only times our in-game time for our speedrun so that people with slower PCs and long load screens can accurately compare their time to people with better PCs. Now with the Great Khans, we actually don't need to speak with anyone. There's a big trigger in the middle of this open area right here. And if you stand in it and quick save and quick load a couple times, that'll constitute meeting the Great Khans, and then you can just fast travel to the Strip North Gate. Once we're here, we now need to go and talk to Yes Man and tell him we've met everyone, and also let him know we can meet him up in the Lucky 38. So I'm going to reload dash over to him, go through all of our dialogue, and say, hey, we're good to go. Once we take the elevator up to the penthouse floor, we'll talk to Yes Man, and this will pretty much upload him into Mr. House's computer, and he'll take control of the strip. So once we talk to Yes Man after he's uploaded into House's mainframe or whatever, we have to sit through this long demonstration, but lucky for us, we can go to this elevator and use a combination of quick save quick load and waiting 1 hour at a time to skip all of Yes Man's individual lines and then third person interact with the elevator to go to the presidential suite and then take the elevator again back to the penthouse, and it'll skip this entire demonstration and save a whole lot of time. And now once we're back in the presidential suite, we need to go and talk to Yes Man again. And he'll say, more or less, hey, you know Kimball's going to be at the dam. And we say, we don't care about Kimball. And that skips an entire quest with President Kimball being at the dam. And now all we have to do is go and power a substation. So lucky for us, we discovered Black Mountain already. And Black Mountain is actually right by the substation that we need to power. I believe it's El Dorado. So we're just going to fast travel to Black Mountain, and then we're going to reload dash to El Dorado substation, and there we're going to power the substation, and then we'll fast travel back to Yes Man and talk to him, and then head on over to Hoover Dam.
Resta fuori dalla sala.
Unfortunately, we got caught by Old Ben here. Same deal as George. He'll randomly talk to you, so ideally we don't talk to him. But right here, we will curve a reload dash and luckily avoid Volpace, who is part of the Legion, and he wants to talk to you really badly. So now that we're at Hoover Dam, normally you'd have to go through an entire sequence here fighting off a bunch of Legionnaires and going through the Hoover Dam itself, but lucky for us with reload dashing, all we have to do is kind of launch ourselves over this middle gate area, and then we can land perfectly fine on the other side. Everything is normal. There's the Securitrons here and everything. We can just dash over to the Legate camp, and there we can end the game. Once we're inside, all we're going to do is reload dash over to the middle of the camp and then up the camp near Lanius, and we'll talk to Lanius, and we're going to pass all the speech checks and everything to satisfy the pacifist ending with Lanius. After talking to Lanius, all we have to do is reload dash over this gate, and while we're dashing, we're going to hit the trigger to explode the gate. And have General Lee Oliver here, and we're going to talk to him, level up real quick one more time. And then we're going to wait for all the Securitrans and Yes Man to enter the area, and then pass all these speech checks with Lee Oliver, satisfy the pacifist ending with him, and then talk to Yes Man and end the game. And then, if you look in the top right corner, you can see me popping off on stream.
Fuori da Good Springs aveva beffato la morte ancora una volta, cambiando per sempre la zona contaminata del Moave. Il Corriere, con l'aiuto di Yes Man,